Hi guys, hope you're having a great day today. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday morning to you. I hope that your day is going well. My day is going great because you know what? Today's the day we finish our laundry room. I was looking at my little list and I'm like, wow, we have done so much in 6 months' time. How awesome. You are here. That's what matters. You are way further ahead than the people that decided not to do this challenge. And so I am proud of you. I hope that you have been going through your house, getting things done. If you're kind of new doing this, hi, my name is Amy. I'm a mom of 10 kids. I enjoy encouraging you along your way in homemaking, being at home as a wife, as a mother, as a single woman, whatever your situation is, just to get you through life, doing the kind of the humdrum things like cleaning and organizing and decluttering, all those fun things. So I'm doing this series, and once a week, just once a week, we're going through our entire house and we are going to cover everything where you're going to declutter, you're going to organize it, and you're going to deep clean it so that in 1 year's time, you are going to have your home in tip-top shape. And it may falter a little bit, but in the end of the year, you're going to go, look what I did. Because instead of going, oh, look at all this mess I got to clean. Look at all this mess in these cupboards. You've gone through these cupboards. You've got them done. So we're in 6 months now. It has been a few. It's been half a year, which is awesome. So if you like, you can look back on all the other videos. There's plenty where we've done other areas, and then you can catch up with where we're at today. So this whole month we're focusing on the laundry room. That may look different to you. I don't know what that looks like. For me, it's just this space over here. So there's not a whole lot in it. I don't know. I have a laundry routine. My laundry, I feel like, is pretty good right now in my life, but that doesn't mean something else may not be good. So we're going through it slow, give you a chance to do more if you need to, or do less some weeks. I know my kitchen was a little bit bigger for me, and so I was thankful to kind of take the time to go through, because I thought, you know what, this deep cleaning part might not be a big deal for somebody, so they still might be going through and decluttering their kitchen. Just depends. So that's why we're going slow. It's not overwhelming. It's take 1 day a week. If you got to do longer, then you're gonna have to focus on a few extra days. But for like today, what we're doing, I don't really have to do anything. So maybe you won't either, which will be good. And then you'll have the day off. You can focus on the other two. So this month we've done everything. We've gone through, we've cleaned, we've organized, we've wiped down. I'm looking at it. I'm like, does it look the same? I didn't even pick anything up before I came in here. I'm like, does it look the same? My cabinets are still looking the same for me. And over here, I'm like, same as when we cleaned it out. And like these, we're going through, I've kind of cleaned these out, and I have these here. I've been able to focus on, I've been trying to use that up because I don't like it. Or I didn't see any difference in my laundry. So I'm like, instead of wasting it, I keep throwing it in every load. So I'm almost done. I've got like one more hard ball in there to throw in. And those pods were something extra that Sam's Club accidentally sent me. So we've been trying to use those up, and as well as laundry soap, which is a good thing. So we don't have 10,000 bottles of things everywhere. So my laundry room, I feel like, is pretty good for what I've done. So this week, what you're gonna focus on is organizing and cleaning the areas where you fold your laundry. Now, I don't know what that looks like for you. You might fold it right here, and that's awesome. Myself, I don't, and I don't do a lot of laundry, just my own. So I keep this basket right here, and what goes in this basket is, if I have like usually every day we do towels, because we have pool towels, we have kitchen towels. I always take my washcloth and kitchen ones every single morning and put them in here. When it gets full, I do a load, which there is right now. I just realized there's a load in there right now I need to take out. And so what I'll do is, this will go into the dryer, and then if I remember the next day, I'll come back to get another one. I'll take it and put it in this basket and just leave it here. And then we don't need to do this every day. Every day we used to fold every single thing in the baskets, but it's not that bad. So usually a couple times a week when this gets full, because these are the clean ones, the person that will fold will just know to fold those. We'll take them in the living room and fold them and put them away. So that for me is good. I have a rack over here on the door, which you guys see me in my daily videos, and we hang up clothes that dry, but when they get dry, we put them away. So they don't stay up there very long. So my folding area is pretty clean. I'm not sure what that looks like for you. So yours might be a designated area. We're gonna have to do some picking up today. Maybe you have to return some clothes. Maybe you have a room where there's lots of mismatched socks that are dry sitting there. You have towels everywhere. I don't know, but mine is not. So this gives you the opportunity to get that area cleaned up today. So, and then our laundry room is done. Isn't that a good thing? I'm excited. This room is gonna be finished. Don't have to worry about it anymore until like next year, or it gets dirty again, or you start misplacing things. And then the key is to keep it clean, is to keep returning things and doing them. So I know for myself, these little buckets here, instead of throwing something in there that doesn't belong, I'm going to make sure I'm very diligent about what I put in there so that it doesn't become overwhelming or become a mess. So that's your key for everything. If you got to declutter all the time, think, okay, what am I putting in here all the time that's making this room be a mess? So I got to be diligent and pay attention to what I put in there so it doesn't make a big mess in there. So, all right, laundry room is gonna be done. Let's go on to our healthy routine and emotional wellness today. Let's go. All right, for a healthy routine that we're gonna do today is engaging and brain training. Now, maybe when you're younger, you don't need this as much. I know as I got older, I would watch my mom do these things and I'm like, why is she doing that stuff? But I understand. Because it's important to engage your brain, because our brains get so focused on this all the time, and there's an awful lot of, oh, it looks really dirty there, reflection. It gets awful lot of scrolling, a whole lot of not use. I've noticed in my own life that I've homeschooled all my kids, okay? And I've gone through school, done a little bit of college, and I'm graduated with high honors, that kind of stuff. So like I'm not super smart, but I know things. How would I say that? So when the kids would do school, I could remember a whole lot of things more and more and more. Very easy, very quick on spelling, very quick on numbers. I could just do that. Now, the last couple years, I have noticed my mind not as quick as it used to be. I have to get a piece of paper and write things down when I do math problems, where normally I could always do them in my head. And certain words spelled, I'm like, I don't know that. And I'd have to Google it to find the spelling. And so I can see a few things in the cognitive world that may decline. That's why they recommend doing brain training. And that's going to be in the form of like a whole lot of things. And I'm not sure, I'm not there completely yet. I can see that I could probably use them. Is it as beneficial as doing it on your phone as it is on a piece of paper? I'm not sure. So maybe you can help me. Maybe some of you that are older that do this already, or maybe you've been doing it for a while. There's no judgment if you're doing it while you're younger, but what are some brain training games that you enjoy doing? I know there's like crossword puzzles. I used to enjoy doing the ones where you circle and find things, the ones where you can fill them in. Sudoku, that's another game one with numbers that you can do. There's a lot of different, I know kids and I would do all those funny little brain ones where they'll have like a picture and then you got to decipher what that picture means and just get your brain thinking on things. Just stimulates it, I guess is the word. So give me some examples of some below. Okay, I actually did a little bit of Google on that because I was like, I don't really know some beyond what my own brain can think of. And that wasn't very many, like crossword puzzles, Sudoku, that was on Rubik's Cube. Remember Rubik's Cube? That is good for the brain. I was never very good at that. Puzzles are not something I enjoy doing very much, but I can see how they would help you. I'm in my head, I'm picturing older people and what they like to do. And they like to do puzzles. My mom always liked to do crossword things. She had the little Sudoku thing sit next to her bed, and I remember her telling me, it's good to do this for the brain. I'm like, okay, but now I understand it. So those are ones that I was thinking about. Chess, checkers, because you got to think about those kind of things. My brain, I'd be like, let's play Connect 4 or Uno real quick, but I can understand as your brain, you get older, it delays down. But there are some apps. There is brain training apps. Again, things I would not know about. There's one called Lumosity. This is daily personalized workouts for memory, attention, flexibility, and speed. And it tracks progress over time. Peak, short fun games designed by neuroscientists. Great for focus and problem solving. Elevate, more reading, writing, and math focused. Helps with comprehension, processing speed, and vocabulary. There's Neuronation, Cognifit, Brainwell. So that gave me a few. And then I said the games already, and board games that train the brain. Ticket to Ride. I enjoy playing Ticket to Ride. Quirkle, Blocus, those have been a couple different ones. Code names. So that's kind of good. Just helps with those associations and deductions. So give me your best, because tried and true things, I can look up things and give my suggestions. But again, I'm not completely there yet doing them all the time. I can see, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, that might be good. There was some for teens. I'm like, that might be good for my kids to like say, hey, download this and this is what you do once a day. Just a good thing to get your brain stimulated and going. So leave those in the description box below, because I love ideas. Do you love ideas? I love ideas. Sometimes it's the simple, easy ones that make things good. All right, second, routine, healthy routine. We're doing great this whole 6 months of the year. Let's go on to our emotional wellness. And for our emotional well-being this month, it's rest and renewal. So today I'm going to challenge you to read a Christian book. And I know it's kind of like, yeah, duh, read a Christian book. But I think that if you are a reader, okay, I could be wrong, but I have found over the years, like I started reading like way back in the day when I could, when I could back in the day, and you just get enthralled and you just want to read. But then I had kids, and then it was just busy with life. There was no time to read. And so the very few, it would be more like articles or my Bible, things like that. And then now that I have a little bit more time in my life, there's this thing right here that gets very tempting that you want to scroll on and spend time doing that. And so I have taken the time to do a little bit of reading, and it really has helped me to not do this as much and much better for my mind. And so choosing a Christian book, something that has a testimony of God. There's nothing wrong with reading a book that can validate what you're going through. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's good to, it's just good to get your mind off this, to go on that. But when you want to encourage yourself, reading a Christian book about how someone had gone through a struggle, somebody had gone through things, because there are other people in the world going through things. But then ultimately when you leave that book, it points you to how good God is. That's the kind of book you want to read. So that's why I say read a Christian book, because when they're writing stories and testimonies of things in their life, it will encourage you to go, you can relate to them, for one, going through things, but then you also can go, wow, okay, but in the end, it's like it inspires you to like keep pushing on, keep pressing on. Does that make sense? So versus like a worldly book and a lot of Christian books too, that will just kind of like emotionally pull you in. And there's nothing wrong with emotionalness in there, because it can emotionally pull you in to let you know that, look at how bad this is, but God, you know what I mean? Where another one can just pull you in and just go, yeah, that's not fair, that's not right. Where you can deem very necessary, like how much, that's not fair. And then they give you no like justification. It's like they just justify your hurt in that without giving you like, let's point you towards God, how he'll work things out. And so I know at different points in my life where sometimes it's hard to see anything good in your life. Yeah, been there. I have different times of grief in my life where it's hard to even see any good, even though there's good all around. I had some wise woman say to me, why don't you read a book? I've got a book for you. And I was like, I don't really want to read a book right now. And instead I said, you know what? Okay. So the first one I took home, this book, and it was George, I wrote it down here, George Mueller. He was a well-known missionary. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll read this. But you know what it did? It transformed my mind and got me not thinking about my problems for a little bit, those couple hours. And that right there changed something. Just like reading God's word will get you off of focusing on your problems. But sometimes sitting and reading this for hours will put you to sleep. And that's being honest, right? So sometimes getting our minds engrossed into a story and something that happened. And George Mueller, it was a good, very good book. Get his autobiography if you can. It's not the one, I read his autobiography. I think it's just Autobiography of George Mueller. I was trying to look it up. I'd gotten it at the library. And so he has a very famous, he quotes the Psalms 81:10 that says, open my mouth and I will fill it. Open your mouth wide and I will fill it. And he had a orphanage that he had opened in another country, and he was missionaries there, and just how God just supernaturally blessed him. This was written a long, long time ago. But that book started my encouragement of reading about different people, different situations, and how God prevailed through. So that was one of the first ones I had read. And then I was just I'm trying to remember the other ones because it's been a long time. But one of them I did read. It was called Even If. And it's a story of faith, love, and the fight to survive by Danae Couch. She is the wife of Bart Millard, and it's Mercy Me's bandmate. And it goes through a story of walking through cancer, faith, and actually their song Even If. I didn't even know that. I didn't realize that. It's a newer title connected to the Mercy Me Circle and the message behind their song Even If. But it was a very good, again, story where I was kind of like, this has nothing to do with what I'm going through. We're not going through cancer and fighting through these things. We're not going through that. But the whole story behind it is getting your focus off your problems, being able to relate to somebody else and empathize with them, and then at the end see how God. But you're going to go through, you're going to read these books, and you're going to see the struggle that they have, the struggle that they went through, and then how they came out of it. I just was listening to a pastor, and it was actually Francis Chan, and he was talking, and he was speaking at one of his good friends' son committed suicide, and instead of dwelling on and like glossing over the what ifs, all these things, it's like gave the real stuff, the hurt, the pain you're going through, and then ultimately pointed everything to God? And what are you doing with your life? Yes, these things happen. They go out. And I just saw there's another book here. It's called Bloom. It's by Kayla Stoecklen. And it was by her. She was the widow of a pastor who died by suicide after a battle with depression. And so there's a lot. There's a lot in there. There's another one, Still She Laughs, by Kate Merrick. She's the wife of a pastor and former pro surfer. And their daughter, Daisy, was diagnosed with cancer and passed away. And another one is Walking Through Fire by Vanitha Rendell Risner. She shares about suffering from polio, losing a child, and betrayal in marriage, and God's sustaining grace through it all. So there's a lot. And there's one, Between Heaven and the Real World, My Story by Stephen Curtis Chapman. And that was of death of their daughter. And so many out there. It's hard because you can't really go to, I don't even think they have Christian bookstores anymore, do they? They used to be able to walk into a Christian bookstore and get a book like that, but not everything's online now. So, but you can go to the Christian website, Christian Book Online, and look through their stuff, and then, go order from the library. You can do that. Will be a good thing. But just looking to see testimonies from people than just stories, because they walk through things. It doesn't mean that they were perfect. Doesn't mean that they there's a lot you're going to read about and where their child died. They didn't get the reward of their child living, but the testimony of God walking them through that. That's the encouragement to read from. And so those are just, I say, like real people books. I always enjoyed, I don't mind fictional books. Hold on. I had to go look it up. It's Chuck Black. The Wars of the Realm series. And those are really good. Cloak of Light. Those were good books. And the reason they were good because they helped. I had read back in the day Frank Peretti books, and it was this Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness, and that gave me a whole insight into the spiritual realm and how the supernatural world works around us. And so it gave me, as a person that was brought up Catholic, not understanding that, a good view of that. And I'm like, okay, I can see how it can suck you in. You want to read more and more and more. So I got my girlfriend had given us this as a recommendation. We had read it out loud, so they were very, very good. And so for me, sometimes reading those, I'm more of I want a real story. I want to know, yes, I understand this. Was the story to make you understand that kind of thing? But I'm like, And I even read The Shack because I watched the movie, and I was like, okay, that was very good. And so, but sometimes you can get in those daydream fantasy kind of things, and sometimes they can go off on a not truth of a life. And so sometimes having a real story with a real testimony, real biography of somebody's life is very encouraging for your own life, because it's not something you can just look at and go, because there's some Christian books that are just fiction and he just depicting, you're like, gosh, I want my life to be like that. And it makes you long for things that you don't have. So just be careful. But today it's going to be the challenge of reading a Christian book. I don't know what that is or what that is in your life. And maybe you'll find something that's not at all what I gave as example, but just a good book and go, wow, that's very, very good. There was another one. I'm just trying to think. There was another one I remember reading. It was called Sandy's Anchor of Hope. And it was a Mennonite book. And it was something I read a long time ago. I think we still have the book. And it was just a very good, another very good book of just brought up in a bad home environment, but then just how God had redeemed her. And so it's just encouraging. That's the kind of books you want to stick with. I think that's the key theme for the mind today. We want encouragement to go in here, because this phone right here has got an awful lot of negativity in it. You want that encouragement that goes in there. So, all right, we've made it through 6 months of this. I was just looking ahead and I'm like, wow, we've gone so far on all this cleaning up. What do we still even have to clean nowadays? So, but there is stuff, I promise you. So if you stuck with it, I'm proud of you, and you're going to be so much further ahead than anybody else. So as always, thank you for watching this, supporting my channel, doing that. And if you want to get the book for the series, even though we're 6 months in and almost, going to go another 6 months, you've already done 6 months. So you might want to watch all the videos on here on YouTube. They're free. You can watch them all and you can see everything we've done to catch up, or you can get the book and you kind of go through real quick and catch up to where we're at current day. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. That just supports me and what I do. There is a link in the description box below. So, all right, we've got lots of things done. Super proud of you guys. So you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye.